At Summer NAMM 2019, I wanted to make a different type of video that's typically done. I wanted to go in depth with philosophy and why certain pieces of gear were created. I wanted to go into the application and how this will change the way that we record or mix. Okay, we're here at AudioScape with Chris and Charlie. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about what you've been building?
All right, well, we build everything on site. Daytona Beach, Florida. We build classic recording equipment, our take on it. We put everything that's good inside the units as far as, carbon comp resistors, new old stock tubes, build everything in small batches, US labor. Everything is built to a certain standard, goes through a lot of quality control checks. We have, right now, 6 products we're featuring here at NAMM. We have the Decomp, the 76A compressor, the EQP equalizer. We also have the Opto comp, optical tube compressor. We have the Verymu compressor, the V-comp, and also the bus compressor used for stereo glue. Basically, this is an optical, so there's an optical cell in there. It's 2 photocells that are hit with an EL panel.
So it's literally a light.
It's a light, like in the back of your phone, basically. Yeah. So as the signal increases, the light gets brighter, and then it hits these 2 photocells. One is for audio, one is for matching the meter to the audio. Yeah. And we build our optical cells inside these on site. Wow. So we build it basically like they did back with the resistor across the panel. There's really not a manufacturer out there right now that's doing that we could find, so we decided to build them on site.
Yeah, you were telling me about that a minute ago, where you're actually using an older technique to build the optical element.
Yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, and it's, I just don't know why no one's building them like that. It's even on the old schematic from way back when. And this is Verymu compression here. This is based on the old gates from way back when. Broadcast compressor, it's interesting about this compressor is it's very similar to like an old guitar amp as far as the topology in the amplifier section, like a Fender Tweed or something like that. But the compression is created by this 6386 tube. It's a very special tube. So this is actually compressing via the vacuum tube, where Yes.
this is compressing via the light element, the optical.
Exactly. So
very musical.
Yes, extremely musical in their own way, and their line amplifiers really create a different sound.
Yeah.
So some people would use these things for the bass vocals like you would typically think, or any other program material, but the way they grab those things and the way they sound are so very different. Equally good. It's just a matter of what source goes into it, what you want to use.
The Opto comp here, it seems to. It's got a bit more punch to it, so it's got a bit slower attack than say the V-comp would. Yeah. The V-comp's kind of like, I like to call it like Johnny Cash in a box. It's just very, it's colored. It can do subtle, but it's even more musical and effortless than even the Opto is, right? Just because of the tube doing the gain reduction. The Opto is very good on drums, which is not a source you typically hear people use Optos on, but it can be very punchy. That 10 millisecond attack is great. Whereas this guy, just kind of set it, forget it, get your input going, and you have your single mode, slower, faster attack here, and even faster there.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, they're both great on very similar applications.
Yeah.
But they're just, there's 7 tubes in this thing. A choke, just like Chris said, this is like a little mini guitar amp, basically.
Right.
And typically, you can, if you have a particular source you're tracking, you can kind of, set this thing. They're almost like auto levelers, so it's kind of like you can set it and not worry about it, clipping your converters, or if you're conservative. But even in the mixing phase, if you just want to, put this thing in bypass and just get the color from the tubes and the transformers, which is beautiful in of itself. It's like, I call it like decapitator in a box, because you can really crunch it up and get it nasty, for a room mic. That can be really cool. That's something that the Opto, does not. It's a lesser kind of thing as far as that distortion. But both very, very cool. Very, very cool compressors.
You want to say anything about the Decomp?
Just based on a very, very old British circuit, really, I took this thing for about 2 years. It's very heavy-handed, so I really wanted to add flexibility if you want to tame it a little bit. And we, on most stereo compressors, the sidechain filters are kind of like, you'll notice a little difference. On this one, it's a huge difference. And then all the attack options, fast, slow release, you really get this flexibility in it. And then, even with the out control, you can just get the dirt. You can get so much out of this one box, and we're starting to see, instead of people that would normally use these just for drum buses, or, maybe a little bit on the main mix parallel, you're starting to get mastering guys using it. You're starting to get people using them for vocals.
Right. And why would that be? Why is something like this so adaptable like that?
It didn't start out adaptable, but that was the end goal on it. Like sometimes you can get something, make something sound like something else. This just has that one sound, and it does it really well. And I wanted to make sure that you could get as much as you could out of it, as far as being able to saturate, being able to grab, being able to tame it, maybe get some of those old record sounds from the Beatles if you wanted to, but still get a modern, take on things with the faster release, not have to be so confined with the circuit.
Right. Yeah, I was playing around with this for a few minutes, and I really liked slamming the in the comp mode here, and then doing the taking out the lows. That's what, 320.
Yep. Yeah, 320. So you're only compressing above 320 hertz there, know, and
it's like it slams it, but it doesn't drown it, where it's like it just sounds like it's underwater, but it still slams it, so you get all that excitement in the mids and the top end, but you get that thick punch.
Yeah, it's night and day too, how much it really, it's crazy. Yeah, you can see just even on the needles,
This attack is really nice sounding. It's not like it's too sharp, but it's just enough to get that transient through.
Yeah.
Of course, you can kill the transient. Like I noticed about right here is kind of the drum transient, and then there you start to lose it.
Yep.
So you got a really nice range here to play with.
Yeah, exactly. And it didn't have that. We had to tweak that. It didn't have that. It was killing too much, like you just mentioned. So being able to dial it back and say, hey guy, slow your roll a little bit. You're awesome, but that was the goal, in layman's terms.
You see, I've been playing around with recording with one mic and stuff like that, and to do that, you really miss a lot of the attack from being so close to the source, like close mics on toms, close mics on kick and snare. But with something like this, you can go a slow attack and get some of that back. It's almost like say if you just had a single overhead even, you could almost emulate the sound of that immediacy of the close mics, because you're getting the attack back. Yep. Or if you want to, same overhead mic, you could do a fast attack, and then it sounds like a room mic.
Yep.
It's just crazy how much you could sculpt the sound. Just what I think really compression is all about, is just pushing and shoving and sculpting that sound.
The attack and release are very, very non-linear. If you're to slow up the attack, per se, the release will also slow up as you slow this up, obviously.
Yeah.
And vice versa, if you slow up your release, no matter where your attack is at, it's also going to slow down just by nature. So when we tried to measure and analyze this thing, it's so nonlinear, it was very difficult to pin down. People ask, what are the time constants? It's like, depends where you have it set,
Right.
But, this sidechain high-pass filter for mastering, put that at 320, keep your attack slower, your release maybe, faster. But to me, the magic controls on this box are the sidechain high-pass filter, the attack, and of course, pick your mode, right? Because limit is pretty extreme for two-bus work, in my opinion. Unless you're doing like a Beatles thing, like a Ringo kind of drum deal. But comp mode's kind of where it's at for two-bus duties and master.
What is the ratio for the comp mode, do you think?
Oh, that's a good question. The ratio for the comp mode, I don't even know what it's at. The ratio in comp mode.
It's more like the Altec.
Yeah, and then Fairchild is limited.
Yeah, based on all those factors too.
So once again, yeah, it's a variable deal. Yeah,
So-
because that's
That's like the Altec.
436 and more Fairchild-ish,
That's more Fairchild.
which is faster actually than the Altec. Interestingly enough, just little tweaks and just a notch back on the attack, you know, and your whole sound is different. Especially with the whole one mic recording technique that you do, you know.
Yeah.
Very powerful box.
Yeah.
Very powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, I could see this as being a thing where, you start out with one setting, a month later, you're like, oh, I'm kind of using it this way,
Correct.
and I'm
Correct.
using it this way now,
It's one of the, I always tell customers, it's one of those boxes where, the longer you own it, the more you will kind of figure out, unlock its secrets, like a Pandora's box type of thing.
Yeah.
It's just that's just the way it is, Chris killed it on that one, absolutely.
You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, you see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame. Don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn someone blind on the mysteries of love and fear. She's got me working through the night. hot that you could turn something blind. On the mysteries of love and fear, she's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame, don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn something blind. On the mysteries of love and fear, she's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame, don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're living in, I see all other life just giving in 'cause of you. You're so hot that you could turn something blind. On the mysteries of love and fear, she's got me working through the night. I'll take the fortune and fame, don't need the critics' acclaim. At the end of the day, the girl's what I want. You see this world that we're